Welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and remember to subscribe. I've been thinking more about the EV market segments and have narrowed it down to just 3 real markets as to how I see the industry. It might be a different paradigm as to how we view the market, but I thought it was interesting and made me think about things different. I'm actually not sure there really is a general EV market like people think. I'm not even sure it's the movement that we are hearing. I think I can categorize EVs into 3 market segments. There is the Tesla market, consumers who just want Teslas, which is where the vast majority of dollars are going. Then there's the wannabe Tesla market, with vehicles that have somewhat tried to replicate Tesla and compete with Tesla, sold at a loss and helped with subsidies and incentives. Then there is the new cheap vehicle market, a market that was not feasibly possible before with internal combustion, that has now made vehicles that resemble some sort of automotive transport at very low cost and very cheap to run, highly basic, not safe, with minimal range and performance, but seems to be meeting a market. I think it's time we took a look around and reevaluate how this industry has grown and progressed and what we are seeing. Tesla has become this powerhouse on its way to become the most valuable company in the world. Any company that thinks they can resemble Tesla in any way think that they can follow a similar path and potentially reach some sort of similar valuation. And the craziest part of this is that the market is backing them up, or perhaps they are convincing the market. The market believes that if Tesla can do it, then this company can too, whether it's Rivian, Lucid, Xpeng, BYD or whomever, as if what Tesla have done is nothing special and easily replicated, as if a highly intelligent CEO with a string of major successes who works 100+ hours a week and even sleeps on the factory floor if necessary, with the biggest mission you can imagine, can be done by anyone. Oh, and he also has a team of rocket scientists at his disposal whenever necessary too. It's easy. Elon Musk did the hard part already. Now we can just copy him. We aren't far off catching up to where Tesla were 10 years ago now. At this rate, we might be where Tesla is today in 2050. This is what's happening. I don't even care anymore about trying to give credit to all the others and humour and entertain them through their transition because I want a cleaner future. Tesla makes Teslas, no one else. The rest are just electrifying the same junk they ran with ice. Now, whilst this is actually disappointing, it is also impressive, as it clearly illustrates what a truly remarkable job the Tesla team have done. These other companies aren't on a mission to save the world. They're on a mission to get a huge market capitalization because Tesla has. And if they look like a duck, walk like a duck and quack like a duck, then maybe the market will think they're also a duck or the next Tesla. But they don't have all their ducks in a row like Tesla. They're playing catch up and burning capital at fast rates without knowing where they're even headed, as Tesla is a moving target. The legacy autos invested in nickel batteries, which means they'll never get down to a low cost price point. NIO invested in technology to swap battery packs, meaning they'll never be able to get structural battery packs. They will continue to make mistakes and invest in big ways on thinking Tesla is going to zig when Tesla end up zagging. And they have chosen the wrong future technology, but locked it in with billions of dollars of capital. People love looking at what's happened in history in the past and arbitrarily comparing it to now. History doesn't repeat, but rhymes kind of rhetoric. Well, the more I learn about history, the more I realize every scenario is different. We can pick all sorts of industries in history we want. We can talk about smartphones and how Apple destroyed the industry, but then the Chinese and Koreans took a large market share. In sales only, of course, not even close to profit. Hey, that is a little similar to Tesla. Apple makes great margins just like Tesla, and the only way for the others to compete is with slim margins, just like how everyone else tries to compete with Tesla, except this competition isn't making slim profit margins. They're also making large net profit margins. Except these margins, they begin with a minus symbol. Most people don't really want to pay more for an EV than a Tesla costs, like for like, which is a huge problem, because Tesla is setting the price point with 30% margins. So if the competition undercut Tesla, then they'll keep making losses. All of Tesla's margins can go back to reinvest into the company, generating more economies of scale, further vertical integration, more R&D, adding more features to the car with software, better batteries. Wow, it really does become a huge barrier to entry and a virtuous circle against a vicious cycle. Remind me again how this compares to Apple? The main vertical integration Apple did was setting up their stores. They don't even make their own phones. Foxconn assembles the bulk of Apple's phones. So imagine if Apple vertically integrated from the mine. Yes, Apple designed their own chip, and the M1 is impressive, but TSMC are making that. And okay, sure, Tesla do not yet make their own chips either, but you get the point. Imagine all the extra margin Apple would have if they mined their own materials, or at least started from the element. Tesla have all that extra vertical integration. I think Tesla has created such huge barriers to entry in their efficiency of getting so much range out of every battery, to the technology they use all around, and the vertical integration and economies of scale of getting their costs so very low, included with the first mover advantages they've had. So low that soon enough the average person, or at least in a developed nation, could afford a Tesla. Yes, the average person, not the average new car buyer. Tesla may also offer revolutionary new finance options that were not available with traditional vehicles due to how well Teslas depreciate or don't depreciate. I think there's even a chance consumers will make more priority in their life to afford a Tesla. Teslas are a different asset from a traditional vehicle. Vehicles depreciate incredibly fast, they are a liability. This doesn't appear to be the case with a Tesla. They may even appreciate, and they may even have the intrinsic value of eventually being able to earn income for you in the robotaxi fleet. I'm thinking that people will prioritize owning a Tesla over a slightly smaller house instead, perhaps, as these cars might also last decades rather than years, at least when Tesla start making their own batteries that will have minimal degradation. Customers might simply keep their Teslas a lot longer, or possibly even the opposite. They may replace them more often like a phone, as the resale value will be so much better than a traditional car. For example, if a 4680 Model 3 Performance was for sale, I'd probably buy one and sell my 2170 version, and perhaps only lose a little bit of money on it. But right now I think I can even sell it for more than I paid anyway. Right, the NEV market, or neighborhood EV. I mean, this is a tiny market by dollars spent, but could be big in units sold. It would also be even smaller in actual profit, but it serves as a market and is hopefully still replacing ICE vehicles. As for the Tesla wannabes, I don't really know. Anyone who says they'll make it, well, they have no better idea than you or me. It still has yet to be seen for every single BEV manufacturer. Legacy autos and the Chinese and the startups. None make profits, and a lot of them are selling with subsidies. It can only go on for so long. If we hit a recession, it will surely wipe most of them out. Don't worry, it doesn't look like they were going to have a huge impact on the transition off fossil fuels anyway. China may look like it's doing well, but in the scheme of things, they're still all relatively low units, especially when we're talking about replacing the global fleet. They may be ramping up in high percentage, but statistics mean nothing. Tesla is going to be able to make 100 times more batteries per squared foot than Giga Nevada, and that's with 4680 batteries. I would expect LFP batteries might be even higher. Oh, and that's also now. We don't know to what extent in, say, a couple of years, let alone 5. Okay, CATL are also ramping up and have a head start, but Tesla are likely to overtake CATL fast enough too, and Tesla's their biggest customer. Tesla will quite possibly control 75% of all global batteries. Oh, and remember that time Elon said how easy prototypes are and volume reduction is hard and doing it at a profit is basically near impossible? I think 5 times on Twitter alone he might have mentioned something along those lines. Perhaps he means it. Now, if Tesla have 75% of batteries, does that mean they control 75% of EVs? Perhaps by around 2030 or so? Well, that's a tough question, as we do have these micro EVs using 1/5 the number of batteries, so obviously the same amount of battery will go 5 times further. But Tesla are also making robotaxis, which may replace the need for 5 to 10 times as many cars too. Okay, yeah, so how about we look at it as potential miles driven with an EV? Then it's going to be Tesla. This is that tricky market share issue again, as we aren't comparing apples for apples. Then maybe 90% of miles travelled in an EV may end up being Teslas. You see what I mean? It's all Tesla. No one else is having any significant impact. And if you break down the other 10%, then it could be from a lot of manufacturers, i.e. likely no one major other motor manufacturer making a big impact. Maybe some EV manufacturers found some way to niche into something to make a profit though. It's all up to Tesla. No one else is on this mission. They're all trying to ride off Tesla's coattails with their inferior products. And yeah, we didn't even mention supercharger networks or FSD. Tesla can do this alone, especially with robotaxis. I really wouldn't want to be invested in anyone trying to be the next Tesla. Why? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? They have this juggernaut of a competitor named Tesla that is absolutely destroying them on every single front. Yeah, I really wouldn't want to be in a business trying to match Tesla in any capacity. Don't bet against Elon. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.